Hey guys, welcome back to my blog. So today I wanted to make a project in honor of the upcoming science project season. So your science fairs will be, approaching soon. It's already November, almost December. And I wanted to give some tips, maybe some direction on your science fair project. So first off, I want to say that you should be choosing a project topic that you're passionate about. You shouldn't be going on some random project topic that you don't really have an interest in or you're not genuinely driven to complete research work on or, generally any kind of work on. Because you need to be pushing yourself to continuously get down there, get into the lab, get into whichever work setting you have, and really make progress on your project because that's what's going to set you apart from anyone else who's trying to just do this for maybe a grade or, just to say that they entered a science fair. Like you should be actually passionate about your topic and that's what's going to drive you forward. Now, when you've gotten your project topic, you should be basing it off of a clear and well-defined, precise question. So this could be anything from just a very defined, hypothesis, or maybe you've got some kind of end result for an engineering project. But it should be something precise and clear. And this will also be seen later in the experimental design, but it should also be repeatable within your project. So choose something that you can build off of or continue again and again and again and compare your data with. When you start your project, you should be starting off by getting a lot of substantial research on your project topic. So I like to use something called Google Scholar, which basically is a search engine for finding scientific journals. And in it, you also should have a place to store your scientific journals. And I use something called Mendeley, mendeley.com. And basically I can categorize and store all of the scientific journals that I read. And as I go along, I build this library of journals that I can use for later reference in my scientific paper. And, research is really important because it gives you something to base your data off of. You can compare your data to it and it adds meaning to all of the data that you collect. Now, this is arguably one of the most important parts of your project. You should have a strong experimental design. And your experimental design is basically where your independent, your dependent variables are, your control, all of that. And it should be repeatable. Your procedure should be repeatable. You should be able to compare all of your data from your earlier results to your later results and basically see a trend in your data. This is where you make these trends. This is where you make these analytical conclusions, all of that. So make sure that you've got a strong experimental design and always, you can change it, like you don't need to stay stuck to one project topic or idea. Because I can name countless times where I've changed my project topic, and that's in the end inevitably saved me, right? So be sure to consult your design with maybe a teacher, a mentor, someone like that, and always be sure to never stay stuck to one idea. Always be changing if you need it. I might not have emphasized this enough before, but you should be very organized throughout your project, whether it's with your scientific journals or now with your data. Like you should be jotting down your data in a scientific journal, like of your own, like little, paper notebook, something like that. Or any way that you would seem fit for tracking down your data. And this is what's gonna help you later for creating those charts that you're gonna need, those graphs that you're gonna need, right? So you should always be organizing and tracking your data. Be sure to use dates, stuff like that. Always be sure that you can categorize your data and come back to it later. One thing that isn't talked about enough is that you should be getting help when needed. And whether this is from like a teacher or a peer, or in this case, a mentor, right? So there are these sites that provide one-on-one mentoring for you, which I use personally myself. And there's sites like VJS, which the Virginia Junior Academies of Sciences, they link you with one-to-one mentors. Or there's also JSHS, the Junior Sciences and Humanities Symposium. And they get you in contact with a professional in your field, which will be giving you up-to-date and accurate advice on things that you should be carrying out within your project, like your methodology, for example, making sure that you're not doing any huge red flags, stuff like that. So be sure, if you need help, go get a mentor, just right now, just go get one. Now, your project's gonna have a lot of challenges. I can name countless times where I've gotten to how would you say this, like rock bottom in my project, like no data was moving forward, all of my experiments were failing, like be sure to just take a deep breath and, embrace the challenges, because there are going to be times where maybe you don't have enough resources, right? When I didn't have enough resources, I made my own tools. When something wasn't working in my project, I changed the project topic. You shouldn't ever be stuck in one place. So take some time and, plan out how you're going to continue your project. And this takes a lot of time, and deep thinking. So always be sure to never stay in one spot, but continue moving and don't let any challenges stop you. Now, with some final things, you should be getting peer review if you're writing a scientific paper, for example, because there are going to be a lot of personal biases that you're going to have. And maybe you could see something that's like, this seems fine in your opinion, and someone else would say, this is a huge red flag. So you gotta have some kind of outside perspective on your project so that you can make sure that you're not making something that's blatantly wrong, but right in your eyes. And the final thing is you should be, I guess, preparing and making a timeline. You know, this is all in line with staying organized. Make a timeline for the upcoming deadlines, the upcoming dates, because although they may seem a bit far off now, like 1, 2, 3, 4, however many months it is until your science fair, they're gonna just swoop in. So make sure to have a timeline, stay on track, and stay organized. Thanks for watching my blog, and I'll see you in the next blog post.